live with shame. Not every cloud which darkens the day brings rain. When truth and fairness are different from what is law, better it is to follow truth and fairness. It is okay that you have made mistakes. Life didn't come with instructions. Only a coward waits to be taken, like a lamb from the fold or a fox from a trap. No one is a total fool if he knows when to hold his tongue. As one candle can light another, so too can greatness of mind be transferred amongst men. To remain in solitude is to deprive oneself of this kindling. Stand by your own trial and not by what others say. When a real battle starts, you'll always find that there is no bravest man. Where wolf's ears or wolf's teeth are near,
Education is what remains after one has forgotten what one has learned in school. If you can't explain it to a 6-year-old, you don't understand it yourself. Student is not a container you have to fill, but a torch you have to light up. Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. Two things are infinite: the universe and human stupidity. And I'm not sure about the universe. Anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new. A clever person solves a problem. A wise person avoids it. Try not to become a man of success. Rather, become a man of value. I know not with what weapons World War III will be fought, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. Any fool can know. The point is to understand. It is not that I'm so smart, but I stay with the questions much longer. Blind belief in authority is the greatest enemy of truth. We all know that light travels faster than sound. That's why certain people appear bright until you hear them speak. Genius is 1% talent and 99% hard work. I'd rather be an optimist and a fool than a pessimist and right. You never fail until you stop trying. If you want to live a happy life, tie it to a goal, not to people or things. Only a life lived for others is a life worthwhile.
I used to hate my grandfather when I was a child, as he constantly tried to teach me boring lessons about how to live life, distracting me from carefree games. The world is tough for young people today, he constantly repeated, seeking to simplify other people's lives with his advice. Unfortunately, only after his death and decades later, facing the realities of a harsh world, did I understand the value of what he wrote in his diary and why he wanted to teach me. He was respected by the whole town, a sage man with a tremendous gray beard, who wanted me to understand these life lessons as soon as possible. Listen carefully, son, and remember this. Life is like a book. Some chapters are sad. Some are happy, but all are necessary for the full story. Learn how to change a flat tire on your vehicle. If you don't value your time, neither will others. The strongest people are not those who show strength in front of us, but those who fight battles we know nothing about. The pain you feel today will be the strength you feel tomorrow. Turn your wounds into wisdom. When writing the story of your life, don't let anyone else hold the pen. Don't put off important medical checkups. Practice self-compassion. We are all human, and everyone makes mistakes. Time heals almost everything. Give it time. A good laugh and a long sleep are the two best cures for anything. Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. Forgiveness is not for the other person. It's for your peace of mind. Sometimes we test it not to show our weaknesses, but to discover our strengths. The calmer you are, the clearer you think. Learn to cook a few basic dishes. It's a valuable life skill. Patience is power. Sometimes you have to let go of something good to make room for something better. Never tolerate disrespect, not even from yourself. Listen more than you speak, for wisdom often comes from silence. Create and stick to a personal budget. What other people think of you is none of your business. Kindness is a language that the deaf can hear and the blind can see. Worrying is like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but gets you nowhere. You can't start the next chapter of your life if you keep rereading the last one. The best view comes after the hardest climb. Courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's the quiet voice at the end of the day saying, "I will try again tomorrow." Never lose your sense of humor. Laughter is the best medicine for the soul. You'll never find a rainbow if you're looking down. Always pay off your credit card debt. It'll save you trouble later. The best revenge is massive success. Love your enemies, for they tell you your faults. Always acknowledge fault, frankly. This will throw those in authority off guard and give you an opportunity to make a choice. By land, they're not making it anymore. The longer we dwell on our misfortunes, the greater is their power to harm us. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. I think there is only one quality worse than hardness of heart, and that is softness of head. A man can never have too much red wine, too many books, or too much ammunition. Blessed is he that expects nothing, for he shall never be disappointed. The only way to keep your health is to eat what you don't want, drink what you don't like, and do what you'd rather not. The reason so many people never get anywhere in life is because when opportunity knocks, they are out in the backyard looking for four-leaf clovers. When you are asked if you can do a job, tell them, certainly I can. Then get busy and find out how to do it. Rather go to bed without dinner than to rise in debt. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. Whatever is begun in anger ends in shame. If you could kick the person in the pants responsible for most of your trouble, you wouldn't sit for a month. Keep your eyes wide open before marriage, half shut afterwards. Our labor preserves us from three great evils: weariness, vice, and want. Dost thou love life, then do not squander time. For that's the stuff life is made of. It is enough that people of the nation do not understand our banking and monetary system. For if they did, I believe there would be a revolution before tomorrow morning. Think how difficult it is to change yourself, and you will understand how insignificant your opportunities are to change others. Do something every day that you don't want to do. This is the golden rule for requiring the habit of doing your duty without pain. The only time you really live fully is from 30 to 60. The young are slaves to dreams, the old servants of regrets. Only the middle-aged to have all their five senses in the keeping of their wits. To lengthen thy life, lessen thy meals. If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. Whenever there is a hard job to be done, I assign it to a lazy man. He is sure to find an easy way of doing it. The happiest of all lives is a busy solitude. If you pick up a starving dog and make him prosperous, he will not bite you. This is the principal difference between a dog and a man. Man will do many things to get himself loved. He will do all things to get himself envied. Courage is rightly esteemed the first of human qualities, because it is the quality which guarantees all others. Never argue with stupid people. They'll drag you down to their level and beat you with experience. Tricks and treachery are the practice of fools. They don't have brains enough to be honest. He that falls in love with himself will have no rivals. The truth must be served like a coat, and not thrown in the face like a wet towel. Hide not your talents. They for use were made. What's a sundial in the shade? Keep away from people who try to belittle your ambitions. Small people always do that, but the really great make you feel that you too can become great. When you're finished changing, you're finished. There are many ways of going forward, but only one way of standing still. Write injuries in dust, benefits in marble. Associate with men of good quality if you esteem your own reputation. For it is better to be alone than in bad company. If a man empties his purse into his head, no one can take it from him. I would rather obey a fine lion, much stronger than myself, than 200 rats of my own species. Let us live so that, when we come to die, even the undertaker will be sorry. One of the greatest discoveries a man makes, one of his great surprises, is to find he can do what he was afraid he couldn't do. Actions are the seeds of fate. Deeds grow into destiny. One ought never to turn one's back on a threatened danger and try to run away from it. If you do that, you will double the danger. But if you meet it promptly and without flinching, you will reduce the danger by half. Focus on you. People come and go. If you don't control your mind, someone else will. Sometimes the things that break your heart end up fixing your vision. Loneliness is the price you pay when you start to improve yourself. Be proud you survived the days you thought you couldn't. Not everyone will like you, that's life. Stop telling people everything. Most people don't care, and some secretly want you to fail. Be kind, but don't let people use you. It is better to be hated for what you are than to be loved for something you are not. Don't go broke trying to impress broke people. Stay away from people who make you feel lonely. No company is better than a bad company. Be loved for something you are not. Don't go broke trying to impress broke people. Stay away from people who make you feel lonely. No company is better than a bad company. Make peace with your past, so it won't screw up the present. Don't compare your life to others. You have no idea what their journey is all about. Never underestimate the power of stupid people. No one is going to figure out your life. It's your responsibility. Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. If nobody helps, you do it alone. Take your financial life seriously. Money is a defense to a lot of challenges. Be selfish with your time. A lot of people don't deserve it. What other people think of you is none of your business. You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. Being alone gives us an opportunity to reconnect with ourselves. Sometimes you need to stop seeing the good in people and start seeing what they show you. Don't pretend to be better than you are. Live life at your own pace. Life is too short to waste time hating anyone. Your deepest, darkest moment may be the best thing that ever happens to you. Envy is a waste of time. You already have all you need. If you don't ask, you don't get. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. Life is unfair, but it's still good. He who is not courageous enough to take risks will accomplish nothing in life. Don't trust words, trust actions. Do yourself a favor. Get rich. Life gets easier with money, not time. If you can survive your own thoughts, you can survive anything. If they don't appreciate you, they don't deserve you. Learn to heal without venting to everyone. To avoid disappointment, expect nothing from nobody. Everything comes to you at the right time. Be patient and trust the process. Failure is a bruise, not a tattoo. Avoid gossip at all costs. It's poison to your mind. The root of all suffering is attachment. Time always exposes what you truly mean to someone. Stress is temporary, but the lessons you learn from it can last a lifetime. If someone is trying to bring you down, they are already below you. Money isn't everything in life, but it can help you solve a lot of problems. No matter how smart, successful, and good-looking you are, nobody likes arrogance. Humility is everything. Don't regret having a good heart. All good things come back and multiply. Don't feel guilty for doing what's best for you. Choose your friends wisely. The fastest way to become better is to surround yourself with better people. Be loyal or stay single. That's simple. Expect nothing, appreciate everything. Be grateful for the little things in your life. Define inner peace. Do your best and trust the process. The harder you work, the luckier. If you want to be the best, learn from the best. Turn knowledge to your advantage with these life lessons. Never argue with stupid people. They will drag you down to their level and then beat you with experience. If a man empties his purse into his head, no one can take it from him. The two most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why. Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. We have two lives, and the second begins when we realize we only have one. Write your sad times in sand. Write your good times in stone. Only two things we'll regret on deathbed: that we are little loved and little traveled. Better to remain silent than be thought a fool, than to speak out and remove all doubt. By failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. Iron rusts from disuse. Water loses its purity from stagnation. Even so does inaction sap the vigor of the mind. Talking without thinking is like shooting without aiming. How many things would you attempt if you knew you could not fail? It is a shame for a man to grow old without seeing the beauty and strength of which his body is capable. Life did not intend to make us perfect. Whoever is perfect belongs in a museum. Many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. I can't give you a surefire formula for success, but I can give you a formula for failure. Try to please everybody all the time. Don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds that you plant. Wealth is like seawater. The more we drink, the thirstier we become. And the same is true of fame. Half the world is composed of people who have something to say and can't, and the other half who have nothing to say and keep on saying it. If someone wants to humiliate you, then you are on the right track. Don't tell your friend what your enemy shouldn't know. The only person with whom you have to compare ourselves Is that you in the past? And the only person better you should be. This is who you are now. A successful man is one who can lay a firm foundation with the bricks others have thrown at him. The best way to find out if you can trust somebody is to trust them. By all means, marry. If you get a good wife, you'll become happy. If you get a bad one, you'll become a philosopher. The snake which cannot cast its skin has to die, as well as the minds which are prevented from changing their opinions. They cease to be mind. Never argue with a fool. Onlookers may not be able to tell the difference. There are 1,000 lessons in defeat, but only one in victory. Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path, and leave a trail. If you are the smartest person in the room, then you're in the wrong room. If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. Don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. Loyalty to country, always. Loyalty to government when it deserves it. The reason why worry kills more people than work is that more people worry than work. Knowledge is in power until it is applied. One day, in retrospect, the years of struggle will strike you as the most beautiful. He who has a why to live for can bear almost any how. Try not to become a man of success. Rather become a man of value. The only real mistake is the one from which we learn nothing. People who say it cannot be done should not interrupt those who are doing it. Care about what other people think, and you will always be their prisoner. Life is not always a matter of holding good cards, but sometimes playing a poor hand well. Do more the race is won by the horse that outstrips its rivals by a head. A clever person solves a problem. A wise person avoids it. Our actions can take us to the skies and throw us into the deepest abyss. We are the children of our deeds. The world breaks everyone, and afterward many are strong at the broken places. I keep 6 honest serving men. They taught me all I knew. Their names are what and why, and when and how and where and who. If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable. It is better to light one small candle than to curse the darkness. No man becomes rich unless he enriches others. Smart people learn from everything and everyone. Average people from their experiences. Stupid people already have all the answers. Never buy a thing seduced by its cheapness. Such a thing in the long run will cost you dearly. The only place where success comes before work is in the dictionary. Beware of little expenses. A small leak will sink a great ship. Every day is a bank account and time is our currency. No one is rich, no one is poor. We've got 24 hours each. Lessons in life will be repeated until they are learned. Opportunity is missed by most people because it is dressed in overalls and looks like work. Money is a terrible master, but an excellent servant. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Rather go to bed without dinner than to rise in debt. Having been poor is no shame, but being ashamed of it is. Care about what other people think, and you will always be their prisoner. Don't think money does everything, or you are going to end up doing everything for money. It's not the mistake that matters. Every time you borrow money, you're robbing your future self. Choose a job you love, and you will never have to work a day in your life. Control your finances, or lack of them will control you. Look at life through the windshield, not the rear view mirror. Do more, the race is won by the horse that outstrips its rivals by a head. Many people take no care of their money till they come early to the end of it, and others do just the same with their time. You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. If you want to succeed, you should strike out on new paths, rather than travel the worn paths of accepted success. Too many people spend money they haven't earned, to buy things they don't want, to impress people that they don't like. Don't repeat their mistakes. The secret to success is to do the common things uncommonly well. You get in life what you have the courage to ask for. Don't spend money you don't have. If you work hard enough one day, you'll reach a point where you don't work for money. Life is available only in the present. That is why we should walk in such a way that every step can bring us to the here and now. Opportunity does not knock. It presents itself when you beat down the door. The root of all evil is not money, but the lack of money. Life is like a play. It's not the length, but the excellence of the acting that matters. The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. Money grows on the tree of persistence. Think of each failure, each heartache, and each loss in your life as a lesson in courage and resilience. We must be willing to let go of the life we planned, so as to have the life that is waiting for us. The poorest man I know is the man who has nothing but money. A friendship founded on business is better than a business founded on friendship. Life is a shipwreck, but we must not forget tossing in the lifeboats. Give a bowl of rice to a man, and you will feed him for a day. Teach him how to grow his own rice, and you will save his life. Money is only a tool that will take you wherever you wish, but it will not replace you as the driver. We cannot become what we need to buy, remaining what we are. If your only goal is to become rich, you'll never achieve it. The life we receive is not short, but we make it so we are not ill-provided. But use what we have wastefully. One day your life will flash before your eyes. Make sure it's worth watching. He who works all day has no time to make money. The trouble is if you don't spend your life yourself. Other people spend it for you. Life is a succession of lessons, which must be lived to be understood. If you want to get rich, think of saving as earning. I would have lived my life very differently if I'd known these life lessons sooner. After more than 2 years of searching, I've compiled 365 lessons in one place, so you can use them in time to live a happy, regret-free life. Turn knowledge into advantage. If the path before you is clear, you're probably on someone else's. Resentment is like drinking poison and then hoping it will kill your enemies. Life is not a matter of holding good cards, but of playing a poor hand well. Be careful who you call your friends. I'd rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies. Beware of little expenses. A small leak will sink a great ship. Whatever is begun in anger ends in shame. He who laughs at himself never runs out of things to laugh at. Decision-making like coffee needs a cooling process. People are great at keeping secrets they don't know. The only real mistake is the one from which we learn nothing. Don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds that you plant. If you want to get rich, think of saving as earning. yourself everyone else is already taken. Life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards. Great results can be achieved with small forces. The roots of education are bitter, but the fruit is sweet. Everyone falls down. Getting back up is how you learn how to walk. Be silent, or let thy words be worth more than silence. Spend your money on the things money can buy. Spend your time on the things money can't buy. A busy man is seldom visited by idle friends. No FLIs fly to a boiling pot. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Thousands of candles can be lit from a single candle, and its life will not get any shorter. Happiness doesn't diminish when you share it. People never lie so much as before an election, during a war, or after a hunt. Those who have a way to live can bear with almost anyhow. Circumstances make man, not man circumstances. There are two wolves fighting inside all of us. The first one is evil. The second one is good. Which wolf will win? The one you feed. A goal is a dream with a deadline. Write your sad times in the sand. Write your good times in stone. Leave nothing for tomorrow which can be done today. Love your neighbor as yourself. Don't judge your greatness by your shadow at sunset. Never interrupt your enemy when he is making a mistake. A friend to all is a friend to none. Better a broken promise than none at all. Both optimists and pessimists contribute to society. The optimist invents the airplane. The pessimist, the parachute. A woman's guess is much more accurate than a man's certainty. Ignorance is the root and stem of every evil. He who is not satisfied with a little is satisfied with nothing. A bad friend is like a shadow on a sunny day. Run, you won't run away on a cloudy day, look for it. You won't find it. Understanding a question is half an answer. What we know is a drop, what we don't know is an ocean. Be the change that you wish to see in the world. Perfection is achieved not when there is nothing more to add, but when there is nothing left to take away. Simplicity is the result of maturity. Never ruin an apology with an excuse. Education is what remains after one has forgotten what one has learned in school. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. It always seems impossible until it's done. How many things would you attempt if you knew you could not fail? To get married means to have your rights and double your responsibilities. That which does not kill us makes us stronger. Fear doesn't exist anywhere except in the mind. You can't wait for inspiration. You have to go after it with a club. The life of the dead is set in the memory of the living. Procrastination is the thief of time. Color it. A leader is a dealer in hope. If you can't explain it to a 6-year-old, you don't understand it yourself. We are not rich by what we possess, but by what we can do without. A friendship founded on business is better than a business founded on a friendship. As a child, I prayed to God for a bicycle. Then I realized that God works differently. I stole my bike and prayed for forgiveness. There are 1,000 lessons in defeat, but only one in victory. When anger rises, think of the consequences. Whatever advice you give, be brief. One fate hands you lemons, make lemonade. Judge a man by his questions rather than by his answers. Your ambition is handicapped by laziness. The noblest work of God, man who founded out man. Be correct with everyone, sociable with many, close to the elect, friend to the few. When you were born, you cried and the world rejoiced. Live your life so that, when you die, the world cries and you rejoice. One day, in retrospect, the years of struggle will strike you as the most beautiful. Where your fear is, there is your task. Those who are hardest to love need it the most. If you can dream it, you can do it. Student is not a container you have to fill, but a torch you have to light up. Better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to speak out and remove all doubt. Success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Time stays long enough for anyone who will use it. Thinking is the hardest work there is, which is probably the reason why so few engage in it. Do what you can with what you have where you are. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. The liar's punishment is not in the least that he is not believed, but that he cannot believe anyone else. Experience is the teacher of all things. An abnormal reaction to an abnormal situation is normal behavior. The most important thing we learn at school is the fact that the most important things can't be learned at school. One looking into a puddle sees dirt in it, the other stars reflected in it. A happy marriage is a long conversation, which always seems too short. Any person capable of angering you becomes your master. He can anger you only when you permit yourself to be disturbed by him. There is nothing impossible to him who will try. Time passes slowly when you follow it. It senses being followed. Thinking that someone else can make you happy or unhappy is ridiculous. Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. The oldest, shortest words, yes and no, are those which require the most thought. Courage is not having the strength to go on. It is going on when you don't have the strength. Words can be like X-rays if you use them properly. They'll go through anything you read and you're pierced. Through discipline comes freedom. Of all the liars in the world, sometimes the worst are our own fears. Everyone sees what you appear to be. If you experience what you really are, there are only 3 events in a man's life: birth, life, and death. He is not conscious of being born. He dies in pain, and he forgets to live. A man who dares to waste 1 hour of time has not discovered the value of life. Be kind for everyone you meet is fighting a harder battle. If your hate could be turned into electricity, it would light up the whole world. Do not spoil what you have by desiring what you have not. Remember that what you now have was once among the things you only hope for. Life is not a problem to be solved, but a reality to be experienced. Tact is the knack of making a point without making an enemy. To put everything in balance is good. To put everything in harmony is better. Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. Only a fool learns from his own mistakes. The wise man learns from the mistakes of others. A goal without a plan is just a wish. The future comes slowly. The present flies and the past stands still forever. The highest activity a human being can attain is learning for understanding, because to understand is to be free. Who controls the past controls the future. Who controls the present controls the past. Appear weak when you are strong, strong when you are weak. Time is money. If you wish to forget anything on the spot, make a note that this thing is to be remembered. Everyone at some time or another sits down to a banquet of consequences. He suffers more than necessary, who suffers before it is necessary. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. Fear of death increases in exact proportion to increase in wealth. Whoever violated trust once loses it forever. Life did not intend to make us perfect. Whoever is perfect belongs in a museum. The reason why worry kills more people than work is that more people worry than work. Everything that happens before death is what counts. It is better to offer no excuse than a bad one. Men always want to be a woman's first love. Women like to be a man's last romance. Sometimes people don't want to hear the truth because they don't want their illusions destroyed. If you want to change people, why not begin on yourself? That is a lot more profitable and a lot less dangerous. To be able to forget means sanity. The secret to success is to do the common things uncommonly well. Laws are like cobwebs which may catch small flies, but let wasps and hornets break through. Your enemies can kill you, but only your friends can hurt you. Never close your lips to those whom you have already opened your heart to. You can overcome bad habits only today, not tomorrow. To lead people, follow them. The first man gets the oyster. The second man gets the shell. It is better to make approximately correct decision than to make a precise mistake. Never compete with someone who has nothing to lose. Begin be bold and venture to be wise. Stupid is the man who always remains the same. If you're going to try, go all the way. Otherwise, don't even start. No woman or man really knows what perfect love is until they have been married a quarter of a century. The world belongs to the patient. Seek wisdom, not knowledge. Knowledge is of the past, wisdom is of the future. The only person with whom you have to compare ourselves is that you in the past, and the only person better you should be. This is who you are now. If a man knows more than others, he becomes lonely. Smart people learn from everything and everyone. Average people from their experiences. Stupid people already have all the answers. Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. Things may come to those who wait, but only the things left by those who hustle. Success is stumbling from failure to failure, with no loss of enthusiasm. He who walks straight rarely falls. Nothing is particularly hard if you divide it into small jobs. Believe you can, and you're halfway there. What we do now echoes in eternity. If you can't do great things, do small things in a great way. Don't wait for the right opportunity, create it. People willingly believe what they want to believe. The meaning of life is to give life meaning. You can hide memories, but you can't erase the history that produced them. Rules for happiness. Something to do, someone to love, something to hope for. A true woman loves a strong man because she knows his weaknesses. She protects as much as she is protected. Nature have given men one tongue, but 2 ears, that we may hear from others twice as much as we speak. When we give someone our time, we actually give a portion of our life that we will never take back. Fiction is the lie through which we tell the truth. Do not envy other people's good qualities, but instill them in yourself through admiration. Who of you, by worrying, can add a single hour to his life? Do not say a little in many words, but a great deal in a few. If you want to think done, well, do it yourself. The secret of genius is to carry the spirit of a child into old age, which means never losing your enthusiasm. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Gardens are not made by singing, "Oh, how beautiful," and sitting in the shade. Never was anything great achieved without danger. The most exquisite pleasure is giving pleasure to others. We stopped looking for monsters under our bed when we realized that they were inside us. Good people do not need laws to tell them to act responsibly, while bad people will find a way around the laws. What one man calls God, another calls the laws of physics. Death does not concern us, because as long as we exist, death is not here, and when it does come, we no longer exist. I would rather be a swineherd, understood by the swine, than a poet misunderstood by men. It is nothing to die, it is frightful not to live. Nonviolence is a weapon of the strong. What we learn from history is that no one learns from history. True love begins when nothing is looked for in return. Who dares nothing needs hope for nothing. No matter how thin you slice it, there will always be two sides. Victorious warriors win first and then go to war, while defeated warriors go to war first and then seek to win. Love your enemies, for they tell you your faults. Believe nothing you hear, and only a half that you see. Keep your fears to yourself, but share your courage with others. If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable. 3 things never come back: time, word, and opportunity. Therefore, do not waste time. Choose words and do not miss the opportunity. If they spit at you behind your back, it means you're ahead of them. We have 2 lives, and the second begins when we realize we only have one. The disease of men is that they neglect their own fields and go to weed the fields of others. Before you embark on a journey of revenge, dig 2 graves. There are 1,000 lessons in defeat, but only 1 in victory. If you are depressed, you are living in the past. If you are anxious, you are living in the future. If you are at peace, you are living in the present. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. We take greater pains to persuade others that we are happy, and endeavoring to think so ourselves. A healthy man wants 1,000 things. A sick man only wants one. Work on clearing your thoughts. If you do not have bad thoughts, there will be no bad deeds. The man who says he can and the man who says he cannot are both correct. Learn as if you constantly feel you lack your knowledge, and as if you are constantly afraid of losing your knowledge. Don't criticize your neighbor's roof for a lot of snow when your door is not clean. If you hate, then you have been defeated. It is more shameful to distrust our friends than to be deceived by them. Appear weak when you are strong, strong when you are weak. He who flatters a man is his enemy. He who tells him of his faults is his maker. To see what is right, to not do it is the worst cowardice. What the caterpillar calls the end, the rest of the world calls a butterfly. The person attempting to travel to Rhodes at once will get nowhere. He who is satisfied with his lot is rich. The noble person uses things. The lesser man is used by things. A leader leads by example, not by force. Even the finest sword plunged into salt water will eventually rust. Man's nature is evil. Goodness is the result of conscious activity. In the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity. To lead people, follow them. When anger rises, think of the consequences. To know your enemy, you must become your enemy. If you are the smartest person in the room, then you are in the wrong room. Opportunities multiply as they are seized. Get rid of the desire to have. The funniest people are the saddest ones. When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. The man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones. Who wishes to fight must first count the cost. Soft and weak wins over hard and strong. Be extremely subtle, even to the point of formlessness. Be extremely mysterious, even to the point of soundlessness. Thereby, you can be the director of the opponent's fate. True words are not pleasant, pleasant words are not true. What the ancients called a clever fighter is one who not only wins, but excels in winning with ease. Live for the praise of others, and you will become their prisoner. People in ancient times did not like to talk much. They considered it a shame for themselves, not to keep up with their own words. You have to believe in yourself. There is nothing softer and more flexible than water, but try to resist it. He who knows all the answers has not been asked all the questions. If the mind is willing, the flesh could go on and on without many things. Watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habits. Watch your habits, they become your character. Watch your character, it becomes your destiny. Great results can be achieved with small forces. The wise man avoids all extremes. Great is the man who has not lost his childlike heart. We accept advice in drops, but we distribute it in buckets. Ponder and deliberate before you make a move. When people know a lot, it is difficult to manage them. If what one has to say is not better than silence, then one should keep silent. Ultimate excellence lies not in winning every battle, but in defeating the enemy without ever fighting. Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. What you do not want done to yourself, do not do to others. Wheels of justice grind slow, but grind fine. Man dies from birth. Study the past if you would define the future. It is easy to love your friend, but sometimes the hardest lesson to learn is to love your enemy. Knowledge is the treasure and practice is the key to it. You can overcome bad habits only today, not tomorrow. Who knows doesn't say, who speaks doesn't know. You can't trust a man who has nothing to lose. Choose a job you love, and you will never have to work a day in your life. Plan for what is difficult while it is easy. Do what is great while it is small. Whoever talks a lot often fails. Life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated. If he sends reinforcements everywhere, he will be weak everywhere. Life is a series of natural and spontaneous changes. Don't resist them. That only creates sorrow. Let reality be reality. Let things flow naturally forward in whatever way they like. Think of tomorrow. The past can't be mended. An enemy is a friend who knows too much about you. Victory over others gives strength. Victory over oneself gives fearlessness. Give a bowl of rice to a man, and you will feed him for a day. Teach him to grow his own rice, and you will save his life. Disorder came from order, fear came from courage. Weakness came from strength. Do not seek, otherwise you will lose. Do not seek, and you will find. It does not matter how slowly you go, as long as you do not stop. The skillful artist will not alter his measures for the sake of a stupid workman. Beware of sugar that is mixed with poison. Beware of the fly that sat on a dead snake. A man dies easily because he has too much will to live. Who does not know the evils of war cannot appreciate its benefits. Time is a created thing. To say I don't have time is like saying I don't want to. A noble person blames himself, and an insignificant person blames others. Therefore, just as water retains no constant shape, so when warfare, there are no constant conditions. Fill your bowl to the brim, and it will spill. Keep sharpening your knife, and it will be blunt. Friends are the siblings God never gave us. It is better to light one small candle than to curse the darkness. Every animal with blood in its veins and horns on its head will fight when it is attacked. The one who knows and pretends not to know is on top. Who without knowledge pretends to be knowledgeable, he is sick. Tell me and I will forget, show me and I may remember. Involve me and I will understand. Care about what other people think, and you will always be their prisoner. Getting something done is like digging a well. You can dig a well 70 feet deep, but if you don't hit water, it's just an abandoned well. Even a loss can turn into a profit, or profit can turn into a loss. The feeling of right or wrong is the beginning of wisdom. There is no crime greater than having too many desires. There is no disaster greater than not being content. There is no misfortune greater than being covetous. Attack the evil that is within yourself, rather than attacking the evil that is in others. Be attentive to your thoughts. They are the beginning of actions. To complain about an unpleasant thing is to double the evil. To laugh at it is to destroy it. You can always rise above those who offend you by forgiving them. By 3 methods we may learn wisdom. First, by reflection, which is noblest. He who has a why to live for can bear almost any how. Health so far outweighs all other blessings of life that a truly healthy beggar is happier than a sick king. The most educated person is the simplest one. The busier we are, the more acutely we feel that we live. The more conscious we are of life. Prayers do not change the world, but prayers change people, and people change the world. Rules for happiness. Something to do, someone to love, something to hope for. If it comes back, it was meant to be. If it doesn't, it never was. The most harmful thing is wanting to avoid mistakes. Happiness is nothing more than good health and a bad memory. Give a person everything that he desires, and at the same moment, he will feel that this is not everything. We are not rich by what we possess, but by what we can do without. An optimist is a person who sees a green light everywhere, while a pessimist sees only the red stoplight. The truly wise person is colorblind. Who reflects too much will accomplish little. Eventually, all things fall into place. Until then, laugh at the confusion. Live for the moments, and know everything happens for a reason. If we suspect that a man is lying, we should pretend to believe him. For then, he becomes bold and assured, lies more vigorously, and is unmasked. The most spiritual people experience by far the most painful tragedies. But this is precisely why they honor life, because it provides them with their greatest adversities. At 20, everyone has the face that God gave them. At 40, the face that life gave them. And at 60, the face they earned. The lack of young men is that they think they are more happy or unhappy than they really are. Strong minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events. Weak minds discuss people. Be silent, or let thy words be worth more than silence. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we should listen more than we say. Man conquers the world by conquering himself. Steel your sensibilities, so that life shall hurt you as little as possible. Thou should eat to live, not live to eat. By all means, marry. If you get a good wife, you'll become happy. If you get a bad one, you'll become a philosopher. Smart people learn from everything and everyone. Average people from their experiences. Stupid people already have all the answers. Small-minded people blame others. Average people blame themselves. The wise see all blame as foolishness. Whatever they think of you, do what you think is fair. Man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems. Everywhere man blames nature and fate, yet his fate is mostly the echo of his character and passion, his mistakes and his weaknesses. Do not spoil what you have by desiring what you have not. Remember that what you now have was once among the things you only hoped for. Circumstances don't make the man, they only reveal him to himself. The oldest, shortest words, yes and no, are those which require the most thought. None can be free who is a slave to and ruled by his passions. Never discourage anyone who continually makes progress, no matter how slow, even if that someone is yourself. Employ your time in improving yourself by other men's writings, so that you shall gain easily what others have labored hard for. Reality is created by the mind. We can change our reality by changing our mind. There is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will. Be careful whom you associate with. It is human to imitate the habits of those with whom we interact. We inadvertently adopt their interests, their opinions, their values, and their habit of interpreting events. False words are not only evil in themselves, but they infect the soul with evil. Rest satisfied with doing well, and leave others to talk of you as they please. A man is never as big as when he is on his knees to help a child. He is richest who is contents with the least, for contents is the wealth of nature. Mankind is made of two kinds of people: wise people who know they're fools, and fools who think they are wise. Men should strive to think much and know little. If you do not take an interest in the affairs of your government, then you are doomed to live under the rule of fools. A wise man speaks because he has something to say. A fool because he has to say something. I count him braver who overcomes his desires than him who conquers his enemies. For the hardest victory is over self. In old age, we all regret not having killed laziness in ourselves. I never desired to please the rebel. What pleased them, I did not learn, and what I knew was far removed from their understanding. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. He who laughs at himself never runs out of things to laugh at. When we blather about trivial things, we ourselves become trivial, for our attention gets taken up with trivialities. You become what you give your attention to. Necessity is the strongest of things, for it rules everything. Hope is the only good that is common to all men. Those who have nothing else possess hope still. A fool is known by his speech, and a wise man by silence. Let him that would move the world first move himself. In anger, we should refrain both from speech and action. The greatest way to live with honor in this world is to be what we pretend to be. Don't judge your greatness by your shadow with sunset. From the deepest desires often come the deadliest hate. Beware the bareness of a busy life. Do not chase after happiness, it is always in you. He is a man of courage who does not run away, but remains at his post and fights against the enemy. The only true wisdom is knowing you know nothing. Happiness resides not in possessions and not in gold. Happiness dwells in the soul. If you are depressed, you are living in the past. If you are anxious, you are living in the future. If you are at peace, you are living in the present. Care about what other people think, and you will always be their prisoner. When you are content to be simply yourself, and don't compare or compete, everyone will respect you. I have just 3 things to teach: simplicity, patience, and compassion. These 3 are your greatest treasures. Give a man a fish, and you feed him for a day. Teach him how to fish, and you feed him for a lifetime. New beginnings are disguised as painful endings. The wise man does not lay up his own treasures. The more he gives to others, the more he has for his own. A truly good person doesn't dwell on her goodness. Thus, she can be good. A person of false goodness never forgets her goodness. Thus, her goodness is always false. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Knowing others is intelligence. Knowing yourself is true wisdom. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. Time is a created thing. To say I don't have time is like saying I don't want to. Because one believes in oneself, one doesn't try to convince others. Because one is content with oneself, one doesn't need others' approval. Because one accepts oneself, the whole world accepts him or her. Being deeply loved by someone gives you strength, while loving someone deeply gives you courage. Be silent, or let thy words be worth more than silence. No one is free who has not obtained the empire of himself. No man is free who cannot command himself. Educate the children, and it won't be necessary to punish the men. Do not say a little in many words, but a great deal in a few. Rest satisfied with doing well, and leave others to talk of you as they please. In anger, we should refrain both from speech and action. Don't judge your greatness by your shadow at sunset. The oldest, shortest words, yes and no, are those which require the most thought. A man is never as big as when he is on his knees to help a child. Let no one persuade you by word or deed to do or say whatever is not best for you. Silence is better than unmeaning words. Do not chase after happiness. It is always in you. Whatever they think of you, do what you think is fair. Be equally indifferent to blame and praise. Do not look back when leaving. Choose rather to be strong of soul than strong of body. Above all things, respect yourself. Reason is immortal, all else mortal. Salt is born of the purest parents, the sun and the sea. Number rules the universe. Declining from the public ways, walking in unfrequented paths. Friends share all things. As soon as laws are necessary for men, they are no longer fit for freedom. Choose always the way that seems the best. However rough it may be, custom will soon render it easy and agreeable. Anger begins in folly and ends in repentance. A blow from your friend is better than a kiss from your enemy. Practice justice in word, in deed, and do not get in the habit of acting thoughtlessly about anything. One of the most invaluable principles anyone can follow is to draw lessons from the mistakes and experiences of others, particularly those who have navigated the world's imperfections and still found joy within its confines. Such profound insights are what one can glean from the life and works of Charles Bukowski. The problem with the world is that the intelligent people are full of doubts, while the stupid ones are full of confidence. We don't even ask for happiness, just a little less pain. Beware of those who seek constant crowds. They are nothing alone. If you have the ability to love yourself first. Wherever the crowd goes, run in the other direction. They're always wrong. Some people like what you do. Some people hate what you do. But most people simply don't give a damn. Too often the people complain that they have done nothing with their lives, and then wait for somebody to tell them that this isn't so. The crowd is the gathering place of the weakest. True creation is a solitary act. Success is always dangerous. It can make an asshole out of anybody. If you're going to try, go all the way. Otherwise, don't even start. What matters most is how well you walk through the fire. I don't hate people. I just feel better when they're not around. Sometimes you climb out of bed in the morning, and you think, I'm not going to make it, but you laugh inside, remembering all the times you felt that way. We are here to laugh at the odds, and live our lives so well that death will tremble to take us. Beauty is nothing. Beauty won't stay. You don't know how lucky you are to be ugly. Because of people like you, you know it's for something else. People the strange. They are constantly angered by trivial things, but on a major matter, like totally wasting their lives, they hardly seem to notice. Nobody can save you but yourself, and you're worth saving. It's a war not easily won, but if anything is worth winning, then this is it. Of course, it's possible to love a human being if you don't know them too well. Bad taste creates many more millionaires. Good taste. Your ambition is handicapped by laziness. There is nothing that teaches you more than regrouping after failure and moving on. The less you need, the better you feel. We're all going to die, all of us. What a circus. That alone should make us love each other, but it doesn't. Find what you love and let it kill you. Things get bad for all of us almost continually. And what we do under constant stress reveals who or what we are. You have to die a few times before you can really live. Real loneliness is not necessarily limited to when you are alone. We have two lives, and the second begins when we realize we only have one. If they spit at you behind your back, it means you're ahead of them. A healthy man wants 1,000 things. A sick man only wants one. We take greater pains to persuade others that we are happy than endeavoring to think so ourselves. If you are the smartest person in the room, then you are in the wrong room. The superior man is modest in his speech, but exceeds in his actions. There are 1,000 lessons in defeat, but only one in victory. 3 things never come back: time, word, and opportunity. Therefore, do not waste time. Choose words and do not miss the opportunity. The funniest people are the saddest ones. The man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones. 3 paths lead to knowledge. The path of reflection is the noblest path. The path of imitation is the easiest path. And the path of experience is the most bitter path. People in ancient times did not like to talk much. They considered it a shame for themselves not to keep up with their own words. Study the past if you would define the future. He who knows all the answers has not been asked all the questions. We accept advice in drops, but we distribute it in buckets. Wisdom, compassion, and courage are the 3 universally recognized moral qualities of men. If what one has to say is not better than silence, then one should keep silent. What you do not want done to yourself, do not do to others. You can overcome bad habits only today, not tomorrow. Life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated. Give a bowl of rice to a man, and you will feed him for a day. Teach him how to grow his own rice, and you will save his life. It does not matter how slowly you go, as long as you do not stop. Before you embark on a journey of revenge, dig 2 graves. When anger rises, think of the consequences. A noble person blames himself, and an insignificant person blames others. It is better to light one small candle than to curse the darkness. Work on clearing your thoughts. If you do not have bad thoughts, there will be no bad deeds. The man who says he can and the man who says he can't are both correct. To assail one's own wickedness, and not assail that of others. One doing this may be to approach to the right path. To complain about an unpleasant thing is to double the devil. To laugh at it is to destroy it. He who flatters a man is his enemy. He who tells him of his faults is his maker. To see what is right and not do it, it's the worst cowardice. Roads were made for journeys, not destinations. Your life is what your thoughts make it. No matter how busy you may think you are, you must find time for reading, or surrender yourself to self-chosen ignorance. Happiness is when you are understood. Great happiness is when you are loved. Real happiness is when you love. Sometimes we see a lot but do not notice the main thing. When it is obvious that the goals cannot be reached, don't adjust the goals, adjust the action steps. Respect yourself and others will respect you. If you hate a person, that means they defeated you. It is more shameful to distrust our friends than to be deceived by them. Forget injuries, never forget kindness. 3/4 of the people you will ever meet are hungry and thirsty for sympathy. Give it to them, and they will love you. People are not interested in you. They are not interested in me. They are interested in themselves. Morning, noon, and after dinner. A person's name is to that person the sweetest and most important sound in any language. People are more likely to accept an order if they had a part in the decision that caused the order to be issued. You can make more friends in 2 months by becoming interested in other people than you can in 2 years by trying to get other people interested in you. Talk to someone about themselves, and they'll listen for hours. One reason why birds and horses are not unhappy is because they are not trying to impress other birds and horses. The only way to influence people is to talk in terms of what the other person wants. Every man is a damn fool for at least 5 minutes every day. Wisdom consists in not exceeding that limit. Listening carefully to a person is the greatest compliment we can give him. The expression one wears on one's face is far more important than the clothes one wears on one's back. Keep busy. It's the cheapest kind of medicine there is on this earth, and one of the best. A smile costs nothing but gives much. Be more concerned with your character than with your reputation. For your character is what you are, while your reputation is merely what others think of you. Develop success from failures. Discouragement and failure are 2 of the surest stepping stones to success. 2 men looked out from prison bars. One saw the mud, the other saw stars. Our fatigue is often caused not by work, but by worry, frustration, and resentment. Ask yourself what is the worst that can happen. Then prepare to accept it. Then proceed to improve on the worst. Feeling sorry for yourself and your present condition is not only a waste of energy, but the worst habit you could possibly have. If you can't sleep, then get up and do something. Instead of lying there and worrying, it's the worry that gets you, not the loss of sleep. Pay less attention to what men say. Just watch what they do. Fear doesn't exist anywhere except in the mind. If you want to change people, why not begin on yourself? That is a lot more profitable and a lot less dangerous. Knowledge is in power until it's applied. When fate hands you lemons, make lemonade. Criticisms are like homing pigeons. They always return home. Most of the important things in the world have been accomplished by people who have kept on trying when there seemed to be no hope at all. The person who seeks all their applause from outside has their happiness and another's keeping. Success is getting what you want. Happiness is wanting what you get. The load of tomorrow added to that of yesterday. Carry today makes the strongest falter. The successful man will profit from his mistakes and try again in a different way. People sometimes became invalids in order to win sympathy and attention and get a feeling of importance. People rarely succeed unless they have fun in what they are doing. If anyone tells you that a certain person speaks ill of you, do not make excuses about what is said of you, but answer, "It was ignorant of my other faults." Else he would have mentioned these alone. The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have. He who laughs at himself never runs out of things to laugh at. Nature have given men one tongue, but 2 ears, that we may hear from others twice as much as we speak. If you find yourself acting to impress others, or avoiding action out of fear of what they might think, you have left the path. Man is not worried by real problems so much as his imagined anxieties about real problems. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Circumstances don't make the man. They only reveal him to himself. It's better to live with one person of high soul and to be calm and independent than to lead a miserable life in the society of many. Suffering arises from trying to control what is uncontrollable, or from neglecting what is within our power. No man is free who is not a master of himself. There is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond our power or our will. Just because someone's single doesn't mean they're lonely. Just like when someone's in a crowd doesn't mean they're not alone. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. The fools are cured of grief by time, the clever by their mind. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Other people's views and troubles can be contagious. Don't sabotage yourself by unwittingly adopting negative, unproductive attitudes through your associations with others. You're a little soul carrying around a corpse. He who is not happy with little will never be happy with much. First learn the meaning of what you say, and then speak no. First who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly. Attach yourself to what is spiritually superior, regardless of what other people think or do. Hold to your true aspirations.